Apologies. No, not at this time, you stammer. All suitable gifts are I might bestow to your illusionists are of dear use to me now. Her arm eye rolls as though in annoyance, which strikes you as both unsettling and a little amusing. So she rolled her eyes through her arm. That's fucking ridiculous. She wishes to burn your sword for magic, says Egra. Was that her intent for you? Egra doesn't answer. Rather audacious, aren't you? Says Drala in a skinny mouse scuttles out of her hair and perches on a shoulder. I've yet to greet your mistress since she arrived, yet here you are, the apprentice uninvited. There is a particularly powerful rumble under your feet, startling you. Turning, you see a pair of dancing golems as straight from the others closer to you. You're thankful still several meters away. Taking a few fearful steps from the straggling giants, you say, I did not mean to intrude. Fortunately for you, your timing is good. I've just finished, says Drala as the mouse hops off her shoulder, hits the floor hard, and scampers into the floor. Okay? No sooner does the mouse tail disappears, the blue glow sufficing the circle fades out completely. All the magic items that have been placed on the pedestal are gone, without even dust left behind. Drala turns to you and focuses more eyes on you than you would care to count. She snaps a finger. Few meters from her, the air shimmers, and suddenly an old woman now stands wearing a leather tunic and is it kalak or something, and trouser festooned with various metal plates interwoven into fabric, and your discerning eye catches more than a few of these plates to be platinum and gold. The woman must be heavy, yet the woman's posture is straight, unburdened. The woman's wrinkle-framed eyes widen slightly as she takes in the chamber. Her face is familiar. She is Kalak in her normal form of woman rather than in disguise as a young man. Why is the situation getting more and more fucked? Well, what did I expect? I should have just got out of the tower. Fucking hell. Kalak quickly catches sight of you and she tilts her head. Your apprentice came early, uninvited, I might add, says Drala. Kalak narrows his eyes at you. I expected you to be with Halafrin and your cousins. Why are you here? What do you say? My place is by your side in these dangerous times. I found the elves boring. Apologies, my curiosity got the better of me. That's the simplest answer. You say. Apologies, my curiosity got the better of me, you say. Since when does your curiosity triumph over your common sense, says Kalak, gritting her teeth. I'd heard of what a wondrous and beautiful creature was the mistress of this tower, you say, bowing to Drala. You're beyond my expectation. See that your curiosity does not win the day again. I can't have my apprentice running about, behaving erratically. She turns to Drala. Apologies if he disturbed you. Drala waves off Kalak's words. I shall take it as flattery. Rather do beautiful elves sneak about in order to oogle me. Rarely do beautiful elves sneak about in order to oogle me. You smile large. You enjoy being called beautiful, even if you do prefer the term handsome. Even if this isn't your actual body. Kalak sighs as she again looks about the brightly sunlit chamber. So this is not actually Kalak, right? She's just like a hologram of her or whatever. Because if it's actually Kalak, that might be a problematic situation. Drala, you have redecorated since I was last here. It's far cheerier now, says Kalak, smiling, showing crooked teeth, as though the already significant wrinkles in her cheeks deepen further. You suppose she looks more like a classic witch you'd heard in your bard's tales. Old, ugly, and with no care about it. The witch turns to you suddenly, clearing a pit in your stomach as you fear that she may have read your thoughts. Where did you get that sword and bow? I won the weapons in a wager among the elves now. So how fast does he come up with lies? Holy shit. I mean, I can come up with pretty good lies, but that fast? Holy shit, it takes me a couple of seconds at least. You gambling? She says. I have made it an aim of mine to be less predictable or to thwart our various enemies, you say. Want to become less predictable, says Kalak, frowning her dried, wrinkled lips. As your mistress, I'm not sure I approve of that goal. She points, a bony finger at the hilt of his sword. That's an Alathian blade. Afraid to try to explain this, you simply shrug. You do well to keep those weapons stored around me. You're untrained in their use, and I won't have you poking me with those instruments of death. I assure you, poking you is the last thing I want either. Holy shit, that's fucking funny, dude. That's fucking funny. Why would you say that? Holy shit, that's fucking jokes. That's fucking jokes right there. Holy shit. So, poking you is like, sexual thing, like, poking with the dick or whatever. Like, holy fucking shit, that's a good one. That's a really good one. Rooster sometimes says jokes that are not even that funny. It's like, just witty or whatever. Like, sometimes he acts childish like he did earlier. But this is just way too good. I assure you, poking you is the last thing I want either. You say this earns you a very suspicious look from Kialak, but fortunately Drala breaks in with the clearing of her throat, which strikes you as strange since you cannot even see a mouth on the eye-festooned face of the witch. Kialak takes her attention from you and looks over towards the rumbling golems. What interesting entertainment you have procured for my visit. They have been practicing this one dance for 6 days and nights, says Drala. You should have seen them the first day. I expended a great deal of shielding, else they would have smashed my tower to ruins. These are your contenders for the Marvel of the Gala? Wait, what is this? These are your contenders for the Marvel of the Gala. I've never heard Marvel of the Gala. I have no idea what that is, says Kialak, arching her eyebrow. I hope that at least one pair will get the hang of it by the time of the Threadwalkers Gala. Okay, first of all, it's Marvel of Gala and it's Threadwalkers of Gala. We shall see. Drala focuses a few extra eyes on Kialak. You did not come here to discuss my entry for the Marvel. I require your aid, old friend, says Kialak. I needn't tell you, Ring City is in peril. I'm surprised you are not there now, protecting your precious Duke, says Drala, the word Duke dripping with contempt. My wards will hold for now, but the forces that threaten the city are far more than I can defend against. I'm gathering allies. I have a Groll treat of the righteous flame with me. Now I need you and whatever friends you can spare, says Kialak. Gold Tree, the Gold Dragon, says Drala. Last I saw, he was attempting to track the wizard Anuxius near Swellak's castle. Kialak nods. Yes, that is where I found him too. That is where I found him. I too seek Anuxius on behalf of my Duke. Yet that must wait until Ring City is saved. Soon Gold Tree and I shall fly into battle. I hope that you will join us. Did you hear that? A gold dragon, says Egra. I knew there was one in the tower. He is near. We must be careful, champion. A gold dragon is among the keenest hunters in the multiverse. It is difficult to deceive. Another dragon. That's the name of the chapter, you think. You're playing with fire now. With all these powerful creatures about, you're bound to get discovered soon. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And if it's a gold dragon is really good at tracking and shit, then that one of our main features of running away will be lost. I know well what forces converge on Ring City and I agree that something must be done, yet this chaos threatens all of our interests. Yet would your Duke and the rest of the Ring City welcome aid from me, asked Drala. I'm feared more than loved within those rigid ringed walls. What do you know of gold dragons, and how might we deceive one, you say to Egra? The intelligence and have excellent senses. It would take powerful magic to deceive such a being. My Duke and the rest shall welcome you as you ride into battle atop Gold Treat, says Kialak, as she reaches into the folds of her metal festooned tunic. But you could do it, you say. If anyone could do it, it is you, my charming trickster. Oh, who's the charmer now? Says Egra, warmth in her voice. Kialak pulls from her tunic a dragon figurine, less than a hand's length in height, that appears to be made of gold. Meet Gold Treat, if you have not already. That is her gold dragon, you think? Does she jest? Drala chuckles. To ride into battle against the enemies of men atop a gold dragon may do something to salvage my reputation, I must admit. Kialak sets the figurine on the floor and waves a hand over it as she... Is it a living creature? As she whispers something, the figurine glows for a moment and begins to grow. You do your best not to react. After all, wouldn't Lestrel, the Kialak's apprentice, already know what trick this is? The wings of her figurine dive into the neck. What? The wings of the figurine dive into the body? What does that even... The wings retract back into the body? I don't know. The neck shortens and before you know it, there's a man with lustrous blonde hair and large beautiful golden eyes standing before the figurine had been. Right, I forgot that dragons can actually transform into like humans and shit. And they also are fond of virgins, or maybe there's just one dragon that's fond of virgins. We did meet one in the first game. Anyway, if I was going to imagine a gold dragon as a man, this would be it, you think? He's rather obvious. Wait, Egra, use your magic before you realize who we are. What would you like me to do, champion? She says in a lilt voice. You're supposed to be Lestrel, Kialak's option. Calyx Apprentice, a few options come to you. Transform literally into the actual Lestral. I feel like that's just going to be too fucking loud and shit. I mean, so much magic moving around would definitely attract the attention. I think I'm just gonna disguise my scent. Morale increases 1, favor decreases 1. You remember how the succubus was able to smell the real you even when you were disguised. A gold dragon ought to be the same to do, ought to be able to do the same, perhaps better. I don't remember this. When was this? The succubus was able to smell the real you? When was there a fake me? Neither. I don't remember. Like at all. Like the first time we met a succubus, we were in a real form with Azazel, and when we met Vesa, we were also in a real form. So I don't exactly remember what she's talking about. Disguise my scent. Make me smell like Lestral, you say. Wise champion. Wise champion. I don't usually bother with scent. Why spend the power? But in this case, I agree it is worthwhile. There's a faint ringing noise in your mind for a moment. You hope that means your scent is right. Goldfried flicks his golden eyes to you, then away. And then away. Who else have you stored in your satchel? Asked Drala, presumably to Kalak. So that basically means the other option is the death check option, isn't it? Isn't a complete? That's a death option. Who else have you stored in your satchel? Asked Drala, presumably to Kalak. Although it's hard to tell with her many eyes looking in so many directions. Goldfried laughs. My kind are meant to fly, not teleport. His voice is rich, yet silky, and before you know it, you have taken a step towards him as though to be closer to the wonderful sound. You can't imagine this man has any trouble with the ladies. That is, if he has such interest, if such interest him. Gods, I wonder what the female dragons look like in human form, you think. Of course you would think that. Kalak nods. I convinced Goldfried to change shape for the trip, else risk his magic interfering with mine. What? I convinced Goldfried to shape change for the trip, else risk his magic. I mean, how would you... If he is in human form, how do you ride him? Just on his shoulders? What the hell? You assume Lestral has been part of this decision, and so you nod along with Kalak as though recalling the event. Wise precaution, says Drala. Materializing inside a slab of granite would be inglorious end to you, my dear Kalak. What? Materializing inside a... I don't understand. I do not follow this fucking conversation. Kalak's smile fades. Drala, join us in the battle. There is little time. Enough time for us to discuss your earlier aim, which was Enuxius the wizard, says Drala. Kalak scowls. I have wished to find that vampire scum since the night he destroyed my apprentice. I dragged him as far as Swellex castle. Oh right, he's thinking vampire scum because he's no longer a vampire, by the way. We did cure that in the first game. Since the night he destroyed my apprentice, I dragged him as far as Swellex castle. It was there that his trail went cold. My duke asked me to try again, and so I enlisted the help of Goldfried, yet even he is a hunter without equal, cannot find the wizard. When Enuxius is on the material plane, he can be found, and I suspect we must find him. Says Drala. He's mixed up with the machinations of the gods, which in turn is mixed up with this assault on Ring City. Perhaps, but in the meantime the city burns, says Kalak. Time to battle is now. The city is where Enuxius is, says Drala. If we are going there for battle, we best know his location and intent. Kalak tilts her head. You know for certain he is there? Drala snaps her finger, the air shimmers, and suddenly Kriya appears. Oh, what a party, says Echo in your mind. Oh, shouldn't you be hiding by now, you say? Kriya happens to be facing you as she appeared, so her eyes fall on you first. She gives you a nasty look before turning to Drala. Where is Zedius? I thought he was to join us. I don't think that man is needed here for this or for much of anything else, says Drala coldly. If you only would give him a chance, I promise. Drala cuts her off with a raised hand. I did not bring you here to discuss your poor choices in companionship. I'd like you to tell Kalak about what you said about Enuxius' whereabouts. Kriya then notices Kalak, visibly flinches, bows her head, and does a deep courtesy. My apologies. So this is real Kalak and real Kriya. I suspect Enuxius. I mean, I knew Kalak was real because she did pull out the dragon, but this is the real Kriya as well. This is teleportation. I suspect Enuxius will return to his home city at some point, and thus I dispatched my daughter there months ago, says Drala. Kalak's eyes widen, and she begins a slow smile. This is your daughter? Drala nods. Only some within these walls know. I expect to keep it that way. Pleased to see you again, says Kalak to Kriya. Wait, what? Oh, Ikili? What the fuck is that? I have no idea. I mean, I'm guessing she's like not okay with her. I don't get it. Like maybe she expected her daughter to also have eyes all over the place. I don't know. Kala quickly turns back to Drala. Did you send your child to spy on me? No, says Kriya. Oh, geez, remembering Kriya because Kriya did show up in her office. We did go there with Rooster, Rooster and Kriya went there. So she's like, "Did you send her to spy on me?"